So GitHub here, commit. I have a commit to do here. Where is it? Yeah, because I shared this folder with another French friend using Orchard. Fetch all, and lots of surprises when you do a fetch all. And we'll ask someone to talk about it. So, agenda. 03. I'm always late. 03, 2015. So we've had bug fixes. We'll talk about the status. Any demos?
I have a small demo.
Daniel has a small demo.
I would also have a demo with Josh, actually. We was on the call.
Lombiq.
And you haven't seen him here.
Josh, you have Weber?
Yeah.
Yes,
From
hello,
Seattle?
everyone.
From Seattle.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, and we can see where you're from. That's the issue. Where
Yes.
are you?
So I'm Josh Weber. I'm from the Microsoft Application Insights team.
Sorry, Microsoft Application?
Insights.
Microsoft Application Insights. But you are in my building. Where are you?
In building 27.
Oh, no, sorry. This is not the same Insights then. Okay. Where is 27? Across 26. Okay, I see. So we have Lombiq. Sorry, Zoltán. It's a mix between Zoltán and Lombiq. I'm so sorry. So we have Daniel with a small demo. We have Zoltán. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. So status. I will make it short because I will ask Sipke to explain what happened here. Since last week, this is 1.x, and you will see lots of things, crazy, like 30 commits, mostly from Sipke and some of them from Lombiq. So Sipke, can you explain what happened?
Yeah, sure. So there were some minor bugs that I found in the layouts feature, which were fixed. I did some pull requests, and I messed up one pull request where I wanted to rebase, but it turned out to be a merge. But that's a minor thing, I think. What else? So remove T property. This one, fix site settings recipe step.
So you are going one by one, or you want to explain why? So maybe...
Yeah, it's very different. It's not all related. So maybe we should go over them quickly, step by step. So this one, fix site settings recipe step. What's this? Should remain there? Oh yeah, so that's a good one because that was a bug introduced a few months ago, and it only became apparent now that we have. In site settings, we now store the registered cultures. So previously, you weren't able to export site cultures. Then Nicholas Main, he implemented that feature, but that exposed a bug that was introduced, I think, 4 months ago. And the bug is that as the site settings are being exported, which uses reflection to reflect over the properties of a part of the site settings of the site content item, it would skip as soon as it would find a property or an attribute in. So I was wrong. It's during import. So as soon as it encounters an attribute during import, and it could, if it weren't able to match that attribute against the property on the content part, it would bail out the skip the entire for each loop. So instead of doing a return, I changed it to continue, so that it would still process the remainder of the attributes.
Okay. You can, I will try to explain, but I wanted you to explain that maybe I'm wrong. There was a kind of hackathon.
Yeah,
At one
so
spot?
last Friday there was a hackathon organized by George from One Stop.
And he's not here.
Oh, he's not here. That's
Yeah,
he
sad.
did mention he had some meetings to attend to, unfortunately. But yeah, they really want the 1.9 to be released, so they organized the hackathon to smash the outstanding bugs.
Okay,
So
well, I look at the
asked
status
me,
after,
Bertrand.
and I saw that 1.x was almost done in terms of bugs.
Yeah,
And
1.x and 1.8.
Okay, we'll check.
Well, if you look at Coplex, there's just at this point
Yep.
one outstanding issue or two. I just saw an issue from Zoltán, ability to load extensions from different folder.
And I was about to ask him if it was really a ship blocker, but we'll see after on the triaging. Yes, I mentioned it because on Friday I saw so many commits going on and build failure because of the CI, which is failing, but not because of your changes. And I was what's happening? And then yes, they are working on the hackathon.
Yeah, so it was me, Bertrand, and we worked together with George and Jeff from One Stop.
So everyone is opening their microphone and clapping.
Yay! Yeah, so that was nice. That was a nice tip from George to do that, because now we're down to a single issue, which I think we should discuss. We should determine if it's really a chip blocker or if it can wait, and if it can't wait, what. Well, we need to discuss what we're.
A mini triage right after that just to see what's the status.
Cool. Yeah.
So this is layout and forms. This is.
Yeah, it's just some cleanup.
Yep.
This was actually causing a warning. And then I forgot to clean up the constructor.
Added validation for enumeration text element query form field elements again form fields.
Yeah, they were missing field validation, and I implemented field validation both client side and as well as server side, which is nice.
When you say it's nice, it worries me. Change the way site was. Okay, that's just translation. Missing reply to. So this was the pull request. You pulled it. Okay, I see. Off. Blah blah blah. And let me check something. And you didn't use the
so I messed up this one because there was a merge conflict, and then I lost the email address. But I figured out a way to do it. So the next.
Let me show you. Yeah, if anyone wants to commit on behalf of someone, when you are local and it's not yet pushed, and you do a commit, and you click. Well, here it's an amend commit. It's easy with the Git extension. You say amend commit, and in options, you can sign off and you type the name and email of the guy. So the author is really this guy, and you are the committer.
Yeah, so the issue was I didn't see the email address. I didn't see how I could. Because if I knew the email address, then I was still able to provide the
standard format name and in between like a tag, lower and greater than, you provide the name. So
exactly.
This is the same thing. This is Bertrand working on deployments. SMTP test function, remove the unnecessary transaction manager. This is from your changes. If you have iOrchard services, you don't need to inject the iTransaction Manager because it's available in Orchard services. Cleanup and mess build. So this one scares me because it's changing so many things in the build script.
Yeah, but I tested this thoroughly and it works perfect. It's better than it was before, because before this change, if you did a build, then your themes would end up in the modules folder, cleaned up.
Correct.
But not in the themes. The themes in the themes folder itself wouldn't be cleaned up. So this works. Everything works. So it's good.
Contained in no branch. Interesting.
Yeah, what does that
mean? No, because I haven't checked out the 1x here. So, but it's only in 1x. That's okay. Change build action from none to content. Okay. Fix an issue or unchecked checkboxes remain checked in layouts again. Okay. Static resources. Okay. Interesting. Does the default document CSHTML?
Yeah, that seems. How come?
When did it get introduced? Nick. Nope.
So Benedict says he added that because he saw people override documents as HTML and they have to reference a TS file directly. So.
Oh, that's me. No, use condition. So it was there from the beginning. I was wondering about HTML5. Oh, HTML5.js. But
I think it's been there since day one.
okay. Then I won't question it. HTML encoding issue. In the layout. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, there was this discovered when someone tried to add a script tag into the HTML element.
Yeah, we saw that. Fixing placement match being okay. Fixing that path placement matches couldn't be used for editor templates when being edited.
Yeah, so if you had a placement declaration where you use the pass configuration for an editor shape, that would be displayed when you display the editor, but when you save the editor, it wouldn't take any effect because update editor didn't use anything for pass.
At the same time, I think we talked about it. Isn't it weird to be dependent on the path for an editor?
I don't think so. Not weirder than for anything else.
What's the scenario?
It's actually used for another fix concerning being able to edit the password of users from the admin screen. Because there the usage is that you want to display the password editors, the two text boxes on the admin for the user editor, but nowhere else by default.
Doesn't sound right. Why isn't it in the driver then to not show it if you're not in the admin?
Because you can still enable it. So if you want to see it, you can enable it from placement. It could be also implemented in a driver, but then it's hard-coded and not configurable if you still want it.
Yeah, yes, that's a security feature. You don't want the editor to be, yeah, that's security. So permissions or admin, then you don't show it because it doesn't have access to that. You should not see it. It's purely permissions. Here you're filtering an admin kind of permission. Oh, can I see it because I'm in the admin, so I can see admin?
No, it's about the editor of the user content item, of a user content item, and a shape that's injected into the editor. And the question is when to show it, whether to show it on the admin when you are editing a user, a specific user content item, or whether to show it anywhere else. Like when you edit your profile on the front end, but that's your own profile. So it doesn't consider anything with permissions.
So, but at least in the driver, you could say, am I in the admin and not looking for a path to display it? I think that's wrong. And I think I already asked a question about why do we want path for part editors. That seems wrong. You don't show or not an editor based on the URL you are in.
But we have the same feature for displays, so I don't see why you use the same configuration for anything else.
Editors.
I have to say I've never used this for any editor. Maybe, but also I'm having a hard time picturing the scenario. Maybe it would be good to have a look at it offline.
Yeah, by the code that uses this, or actually this was something there. So something there that was failing silently. A feature from placement that was failing silently in specific scenarios.
I see new properties, new method calls. That's like new stuff to me.
No, so you could still use the path configuration for editors, but it was just not working because the path was set to a constant string empty when the update editor was called. So if you had an editor that was configured to be displayed depending on a path, it was silently failing when the editor was updated.
Okay, so this I can get, but I think we should not use it. If it's common code between editors and displays, okay, and we should fix the code, fine. But we should not use it for this specific case in the user. There is another way, which is driver, is it in the admin? Yes. Or is the user able to edit this thing? Permission? Yes, I show the editor. Is admin or is permission, whatever, is it the two of them? But
checking from an editor method of a driver whether we are on the admin seems very strange for me.
Permission. So then check, can the user edit this thing or show this editor? This is what we do also for settings to say, oh, we show this part or not based on settings. We do that like for the datetime editor, like owner editor. We can say, no, don't show me the owner editor. I don't want to see it. It's a setting. And in the driver, based on the setting, we display it or not.
Yeah, it's a different scenario. Let's not discuss this further here. The code using this is in the repository a few commits ahead, so feel free to check it out.
So Zoltán, if I understand, this is about the user editor. You can render it on the front end, not in the admin theme. For example, when editing a user profile, and that's when you don't want to show the password fields.
Also, yeah. Well, there are a lot of options to do that. So the best was to use placement.
Let me show you something. While it's loading, I will go to the next issue, and after I will show you something. Fix that paragraph element gets extra p tags when editing. Layout again. Fixed broken layout editor. This layout editor is very broken. Just fixes after fixes. Prevent map files from being requested by the browser by removing them. This is why I think I had not just a comment with Daniel. I could not have a discussion with him. I was against the map files because they're just issuing 404s. They're never here. So here, what you're doing is just.
So the reason browser is requesting the map files if that comment thing is there. So I didn't know a better fix than removing it. But if there's better
I removed all of the map files a few weeks ago, but there were still references to them in the JS files that were compiled before that because we didn't recompile them. So
this is part. Okay, this is the completion of the fix. Good.
Yeah.
And prevent map files, blah 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 again. One more. And adding the ability for admins to also change password for registered users. This is this one. And let me show you something. If I go in the roles module, because you don't want to see the roles module when you edit a profile. Roles module. I assume it's done like this. Maybe I'm wrong and you will win. But try check access first. You see? Try check access. That's how it works.
Yeah, but editing the password of a specific user content item that we are displaying the editor for, I would argue isn't tied to a specific permission because we don't have a permission for that. And it's not the same as managing users.
So then you could say if not in admin, or if in admin, I render it. Could do that too. Same thing as is. So
yeah, again, but if you want to have that, the using placement is the most flexible option here because you could still have dynamic placement from code, and you can use arbitrary logic to hide that or to display that.
I agree. Demos. Who's the shortest demo? Daniel has the shortest, I know.
It's ours, I think, would be a bit longer probably, yeah.
Okay, Daniel, go. Shall I share my screen, share with you? I don't know what to do.
I don't know either.
So where is Daniel here in the list? Daniel, right click. No, right click doesn't work.
Maybe I do share?
Maybe, try it.
You have to stop sharing first, I guess. It says...
You are sharing your screen. Okay. Is it good now?
I'm checking. Yep, I can do it. Let's see. Oh, I have to add an extension?
Chrome? Don't you have Chrome?
Yeah, I do. Oh, it was added. Oh, that's cool. Okay, share. Let's see. Broadcasting. Can you see it? Let me know when you can.
It was briefly loading for me, but nothing yet.
Yes,
okay, I'll try.
I saw it pop up and then it stopped.
Okay, I'll try again. Share.
My window is grey. Is everyone else's?
Oh, I see. Okay, view screen again. I see some bubbles thing. It's going on with grey.
Now
Still waiting.
It tells me I'm sharing now. Anyway.
I can see now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this will indeed be a very, very, very short demo because it's only in PowerPoint. Sorry to disappoint. Couldn't say that before. You wouldn't have shared your screen. So believe it or not, the top ask currently from our biggest customer, the one in Sweden, the Swedish government. Now that we've fixed a bunch of other stuff with Orchard, now what they're complaining about most is the fact that when they click this link here, the content link, there's no filter. So it goes through all of the content and lists it. And in a site as such as theirs, where they have more than 500 content items, that actually takes a fair bit of time. So they want something better. And I know there's been numerous attempts to make better solutions. I think Bertrand actually has two of them in modules that he's created. He has something called the tree, which is a really cool advanced thing where you can, have a hierarchical navigation of content based on taxonomies or content types or whatever you want. It's provider based, but I think it's a little overkill for most scenarios. He also had one a while back, I don't know if it's still maintained, where this thing would be expandable, just like the new link, so that you could come to a pre-filtered list of content, which is basically what our customer wants. But having to install a third-party module for such a super simple thing that really should be supported out of box is boy, I don't like it. So I have a suggestion on how to improve this out of box that I wanted to share with you and get your thoughts on. So today, the way it works is you click this one, it lists all the content, and then you have this new link, and you can click on any specific content type, and it kind of gets you to create a new item of that type. So what I want to do is to kind of merge these two things into one so that it looks more like this, where this one becomes content, and the content is gone from here. So there's no new here. So the idea is this one, when you click on it, it lists all the content, just like the existing link, and this one replaces the new menu item.
Sorry to interrupt. I think it's a great idea, but I wouldn't say new because it looks like the content type is new here. So maybe something like create, and maybe it's an icon instead of being
plus, like a
word.
plus.
Yeah, I like that. I was toying around with that idea actually. I just couldn't. I couldn't make it pretty enough to make a screenshot. But I agree. And if
that's why you have the same setup as on Thursday when we can hear ourselves once again after, and it's horrible.
Yeah. And if it's a wording,
please mute yourself, Bertrand, or buy a headset. Oh, we can hear you type.
Okay. Can someone mute, please?
I can't. Where is the window where I can do that? It's lost.
I don't know. Okay.
I can. Wait 1 second. I need to find that in the list and mute him. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. So yeah, so if there is a wording like in a tooltip or something, I think maybe it should be new item rather than just new. And so these ones, when you click on them, I think they should do what Bertrand's module did. So list all of the specific items of that type. And like I think these menu items should be linked only for the types that are actually listable. And then this one creates a new item of that type. And this link should be shown only for the types that are actually that are creatable. And then if a type is neither listable nor creatable, we don't show this menu item at all here. So that way I think we can give people like the best of both worlds in a sort of a compact UI. So if you think this is good, then I'll go ahead and try to build it.
I think we should have a meeting to brainstorm other ideas. I think it's interesting, but maybe we can have better at the same time if we want to focus on that. We all agree that we need some way to navigate better, filter, navigate, create, and I totally agree. And as you said, it should not be a module.
Yeah,
it has to be integrated by default, even if it's a module, but in core, if we want to remove it. Yeah, I have some other ideas, and I'm sure some other people have some other ideas. We should set up a meeting, even if it's on a Thursday, and invite on Twitter and whatever, just so that if people are interested into the conversation, we should talk about it.
Okay, that's
so. And start with what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, don't we just want a full page with features on that, like a content page where we could create and search and whatever, I don't know. Yeah. Also with the tree, maybe people like the tree and want customizable ways to navigate their stuff, or folders because they want to organize their content in folders. Just enumerate the solutions, the cost of that. Your stuff is very simple to implement, so maybe we'll say, okay, let's do that because it's so simple to do.
Yeah, I wanted something that we could pretty much do right away without too much fuzz.
Yep. Okay, I get it. So let's see. So if we don't want to talk about it on Thursday, we could create another day. But I think Thursday will be nice for that. It's short enough in 2 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's try to talk about it on Thursday. Send a tweet about it, and all the people here in the room can at least know that we want to talk about it on Thursday and join. And start from what you have. Good. Thank you. Awesome. And thank you for preparing a PowerPoint for that. So professional.
Yeah, I know. Oh, whoops. What did I do?
So, Zoltán, your turn.
Oh, yeah.
and be introduced. So, yeah, who's Joshua? I don't know Joshua. Maybe I know, and I don't remember I know him.
Yeah, he's in a company called Microsoft. Probably you know Microsoft.
Let me ping his name somewhere just to.
You can use who, right?
Yeah. So what we will talk about with Joshua is Application Insights integration for Orchard.
No, wait. Joshua is a program manager. We don't talk to program managers.
I guess he's. Sorry?
I said I was in dev, so yeah, I work with developers.
You see, Sebastian?
I won't interrupt you anymore. Sorry. Go on.
All right. So there's a thing called Azure Application Insights. Joshua will talk about that in more detail. And what we have worked on in Lombiq the last few months, that we created a module, and it's now open source, that will let you quickly integrate this application insights, but is, by the way, an application telemetry collecting / diagnostics service into Orchard. So let's see what application insights is, and Joshua will talk about that, and then I will show the module itself and how it works with Orchard. Josh, it's your turn if you would like to talk.
Okay, I'll try and give a kind of a general overview, just a real quick idea, and then I'll hand it over to Zoltán, because I think his integration stuff is actually the most interesting part. Makes me sign up.
Oh, yeah, if you want to share first, you have to sign in and sign up, unfortunately.
Okay, I think I'll have to.
In the meantime, if you haven't heard about Application Insights, I've pasted a link into the chat window for some offline viewing.
Are you sharing, Zoltán?
No, Josh tried to share, but he just dropped.
Oh, okay.
He's not in the call anymore. Yeah, it's by the way very funny how this list of people is randomly sorted. So if you want to mute yourself, it's kind of a challenge. Okay, Josh is here. Josh, are you trying to share?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And he dropped again. I wonder how Daniel, you had done it, sharing so fluently.
I didn't do anything special. Just click the share icon in the lower left, and off I went.
I don't know what the issue here is.
I did have to install an extension though. In Chrome.
And Josh is here again.
Okay, are you guys able to see?
Yeah, I got the view screen icon this time, and I can see your screen.
Excellent.
Me too.
Excellent, excellent. So for Application Insights, it's a new product offering from Microsoft. It's basically a telemetry service offering, currently being offered through the Azure portal. The basic idea is that we focus on three main scenarios: understanding, basically insights. The idea is we focus on really identifying service problems and understanding kind of user behavior. So we have a couple of statistics here, some quotes from Gartner that shows that less than 0.01% of applications will be considered financially successful. And so telemetry is becoming more and more important for your application to be successful. A couple of reasons here why building applications is so hard. Competition is very fierce. Continuous delivery is expected behavior, and success really requires you to have data-driven decision making, which is difficult to do if you're not able to have the mechanisms to collect data. So as just kind of the general application life cycles, the idea is that you set a set of requirements there, and then you move through development and then into production. The idea for Application Insights is that we really target the development phase through diagnostics and performance tracking, and then we also really target the production phase through user behavior tracking, so that you can understand exactly how your users are using your application in order to make the right investments for the future. A couple of the ideas is prioritizing investments based on real data, being able to make actionable decisions based upon real data. So for Application Insights, it's basically a new service being offered. The basic idea is that telemetry is collected at every tier. So that's mobile applications, server applications, and their browsers. Telemetry arrives directly to the Application Insights service, where the service processes and stores that data. And then we provide a portal experience that provides a 360-degree view of your application, really covering availability, performance, and usage. So the real competitive insights for Application Insights are really the fact that we focus on a 360-degree view. A lot of the competitors focus on certain areas, but Application Insights tries to couple all of the data together to allow you to have a full view across all of your telemetry. In addition to that, we really try to focus on having kind of a built-in analytics experience that you get a fair amount kind of out of the box that enables you to really onboard quickly and get up to speed as fast as possible. So as part of our 360-degree view, we have a number of different ways that we collect data. We provide outside-in monitoring, equivalent to URL ping tests or web tests, from actually updated to 16 global points of presence now. We basically observe user behavior to understand how an application is being used. We also allow for developer-emitted traces and events, basically developer-written code that sends additional telemetry. We also do observed application behavior. These are things that happen out of the box with no coding. We tend to look at things like service dependencies, queries, response time, exceptions, logs. In addition to that, we also collect infrastructure performance, things like performance counters from your machine. And so we have a quick demo here. So I'll show basically a sample web application. I'm wondering if Zoltán's demo might be a little bit more informative, as it'll have information from an actual Orchard application rather than just this sample application here.
VOC, maybe a bit.
So I'll just run through this kind of quickly. The idea here is that we really collect kind of application health data, stuff like client processing time, server response time. This data is actually a mix of both the browser side and the server side application tracking. It collects things like every server request and additional metadata about each server request. It collects things like failed requests and exceptions that were thrown. In addition to that, it has this outside-in monitoring where it'll track basically ping tests that come from outside of your application. We have a number of kind of diagnostic experience around exceptions, both on the browser and the server side, in addition to kind of the top failed requests. And then we also have a bit of performance tracking here around looking at external dependencies, basically outgoing calls to things like HTTP or SQL servers, and how much time you're actually spending in that, and then various types. So here we can see that we have kind of the slowest requests, and the idea is that the majority of these charts are able to be drilled into. Here we drill into basically diagnostic search, where you can take a look at every request individually. In addition to that, you can take a look at stuff like by drilling into basically individual stuff, where you can actually drill into Metric Explorer, which allows for kind of multi-dimensional slice and dice of data. And here you can see kind of like a breakdown of stuff. So in the sample app, really, you can see these external dependencies like calls to eBay and Bing, and basically how much they're contributing to the server response time. So that's just a very, very quick overview. I can follow up more in details with anyone who's interested in more kind of details around the experience, but we really kind of focus on this ability to kind of collect data in real time. Telemetry data usually has all what we call near real time presence in the portal, and then basically we have kind of the overview page, which shows you a basic kind of experience, but really you're allowed to kind of drill into all these experiences. Especially if you can actually customize all these charts to go further, to really look at like segmentation, a significant amount of kind of expectate or automatically collected metrics, and basically do a segmentation by various kind of metadata that's collected. Did anyone have any questions so far? I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Where is Orchard?
Where is Orchard? Is that what your question? Yeah, so I'm going to hand off to Zoltán, who basically did a basically, I believe it's an Orchard module that'll basically automatically capture a lot of this data and populate it into the App Insights portal, which will provide Orchard-specific data.
That's right. Because what we have developed with the help and insights of the Microsoft Application Insights team is a module. I pasted the CodePlex link into the chat window.
Question: you are contracted by them?
No, it's an open source module that we wanted to create.
Okay.
But there were some issues we encountered, and since we are part of the Azure Customer Advisory Board, we could quickly connect with the team of Joshua. So we kind of collaborated on this. And the result of this is this module. I will now try to share my screen. And I'm on Chrome, so if everything goes all right, it should be over quickly, this whole process. Okay, share. Well, if you don't have this module, and now my screen should be shared, and with an awesome infinity effect, you should see it. Can you see it?
Yep, I see it.
All right, cool. So without this module, how you install Application Insights into your solution, or rather the components that you need to be able to send telemetry data to the Application Insights collector in the Azure portal, is that you need to install NuGet packages. What's fine, but that does mean that it's not as simple as installing an Orchard module, and it's not tenant aware. So what this module does is first it lets you install the ability to collect Application Insights telemetry as a module. So it's really just dropping in a module and it works. And furthermore, it's tenant aware, so you can opt to collect specific telemetry data differently for specific tenants. And that's how it works. I have an Orchard installation here. And after installing this module, it will add an Azure Application Insights settings menu item to under settings. And here we have a few options. First, you need to specify, and this is the only mandatory option. First, you have to specify an instrumentation key. Now, this comes from the Azure portal. So if you take a look at Application Insights on the portal, because it only works through the new Azure portal, by the way, then you can take the instrumentation key from here. So that's the only thing you need. This will be just the ID to identify the requests. You need to fill it here. And then we have a few options. Log entries are also collected and sent to Application Insights. So I will also show some examples. You can enable it here. This one is not tenant aware. So this is application byte, because log entries in Orchard cannot be reliably distinguished between tenants, unfortunately. You can also enable server-side request tracking, what will basically tell you everything about server-side requests, like what different points of information are from the HTTP context and the HTTP requests, how long a server-side request has taken, and such. And you can also enable client-side tracking that is pretty similar, but in JavaScript, so everything from the client side. And that's it. So if I click through this application now, telemetry information will be collected. So for example, there is server-side tracking that we don't see, of course, but there is also client-side tracking that is apparent by this code here, because this is the Application Insights client-side tracking code. And that's how it looks from the inside. So let me start first with a live example, and this is the Application Insights account of all the Lombiq sites. So actually, all of our own websites are in the same Orchard application that is a multi-tenant setup, and here we have Application Insights data for that, and that was collected by this module. So for example, here we have all the metrics related to requests. So you can see server-side performance, client-side performance, all these different metrics as such. On the client side, also exceptions are collected. So if you have a JavaScript exception, that is collected here. But I can't retrieve it here. I will show you examples of that. If requests fail, like there is a server-side error, that will be logged here as well. It's here under failed requests. Now, everything is a failed request that's not a 200 type response. So 404s are also failed requests. So we have so many failed requests, not because everything is broken, but because there are a lot of 404s from web bots, for example, spiders. One thing that is not working is dependency telemetry or dependency information collection. So there, for example, we could see some insights about SQL queries, but that's not working yet. What's working though is that we have all the telemetry data points here under diagnostic search. And again, this is a live site, so we have a lot of data here. And here is, well, this is something boring, but this is, for example, more interesting. This is a request data, a server-side request information. Well, we have some self-explanatory lines here. For example, response time. There is also client-side data like this page view that will be loaded here. So this was one telemetry data point sent from the JavaScript tracking code. And oops, that was what I didn't want. And if I manage to open this up, we will see some traces as well that are basically log entries, because every log entry here is sent. Every log entry from Orchard is sent to Application Insights as well. So if it loads, okay, well, oops, go away. Okay, somehow the focus is still here. I haven't seen this yet. Interesting. Anyway, then I won't show you this on the live side, but on the test side. Because what we see here, by the way, this Application Insights account is from this test site that I have locally here. So this is telemetry data collected from this test site. And one particular thing here is that's quite cool, I think, is that you can tie traces, so log entries, to requests. Here I have an example log entry. It's nothing meaningful, just a test log entry. And you can see here that there were requests where this log entry appeared. So if I click here, I will actually retrieve all the requests where this trace was sent from. And particularly it was this page. So we get to the server-side request. So what you could do is that if there is something failing in Orchard and you get a log entry in a standard way through Log4net, through the Orchard logger, you can see what was the request where this issue originated from, and that's quite useful. It works similarly with client-side issues. So again, you can correlate requests with traces. And if I refresh here, we should see some of the page views that I issued a few minutes back on my local site. Yeah, for example, this was one of those traces. Again, this is a test trace. So that's the bulk of the features. And again, what this module enables you, what's not there by default when you install Application Insights from the NuGet or through the SDK from Visual Studio, is multi-tenant support. So what we have here is that on .nest, there is also Application Insights. So now on your .nest site, you also have Azure Application Insights menu item. But basically the same that's in the standard module. And again, here, if you supply your instrumentation key, then you can collect telemetry data. So again, I think this is something neat. That here are some telemetry data points collected from CMS as a service from .nest. So you don't own the application, but still you can collect telemetry data from it. And you have all the information here, all the response times, all the data. Well, this was just a demonstration here, so not much data here, of course. But this is quite useful even for simple sites, because you can see if something goes wrong, because even for the client side, you will see the exceptions. But I couldn't show you this here because it's somehow that Application Insights account here is broken. But anyway, it works. So that's it. Again, it's here on Codeplex. So feel free to check it out. Anybody with any questions, maybe? Sebastian, do you know who the people are in the other building who created Application Insights now?
I don't know how it's related with the telemetry team that is in my building. So I will assume that they are very related, because I thought they would do that. So I don't, yeah, I will check. Question.
What about overhead, sending this data to inside
no?
Yeah, client side and server side. So how does that work? Is that asynchronous or something?
Yeah, that's a good question. On the client side, it's very simple. It uses the same technique as any analytics and diagnostics service does. So it's asynchronous. Okay, here's the code, but it's not readable. Anyway, so it's async. Yeah, so it will only execute when everything else is loaded. On the server side, I don't know what the magic is, but I would guess it's also asynchronous because actually the code that sends the telemetry request is in an OVN middleware provider. That's why OVN middleware providers were so important for me personally. And this is the code that sends the request tracking data, and it's very fast. So I would assume there is some asynchronicity in the background, but I haven't checked.
Okay.
So it is true. The telemetry client code from the SDK is asynchronous for all calls.
Well, that's it. That's the same DLL, so then it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I think you could make it a feature in the Azure module. I don't know what other people think, but that makes sense. We have an Azure module with lots of features for Azure that could ship inside that.
Yeah, probably. This was quite experimental. It's still a bit experimental.
What? Or in next 1.x at least.
Well, in 1.10 or I don't know. Well, sure.
Yes.
How much time did you spend working on this, Zoltán?
I'm not sure. It was a long time frame, but of course those months doesn't mean that it was 3 months work all the time. But a significant amount of time.
We are stuck.
Or we should incorporate helpful libraries into the core. So the bulk of the work was actually looking into the DLLs that are shipped with the NuGet packages and see what is done there. So we can do the same in an OV middleware provider, so it's tenant aware. But now it's pretty cleaned up, so the code is quite small, I think.
So if you run a multi-tenant installation of Orchard, you need to have one application insights service per tenant if you want to be able to separate the analytics in any way, right? There's no like you can't. There's no segmentation of data within one application insights service.
That's a very good question. Well, first, you don't need to have different application insights accounts for the different tenants. You can use also one just for the whole application, just as with vanilla application insights installation. If you put that instrumentation key in a web config, so that's the catch here. Otherwise, if you want to collect telemetry data completely separately, then you can supply the instrumentation key per tenant. If you have one instrumentation key for the whole application, then there is no segmentation other than this search. I have to say there is a lot to do here because even this plus button does a lot of things that I don't know what it is. So probably Joshua can tell more about that. But here you have all the URLs. So if you search for the domain of the tenant, I would guess you will get all the data that's only related to that tenant.
Okay, that's clear. Thanks.
It would be also possible that there's a feature within Application Insights called Custom Properties that allow you to attach metadata. And so if you were to attach a custom property that identified a tenant ID, you would be able to segment and search all of your telemetry and all of these graphs. You'd be able to segment and filter them by that custom tenant ID property.
Oh, why don't we have that already? That's cool. I will implement that. Didn't think about it.
Yeah. So it's from App Insights perspective, we just have the idea of custom properties that represent anything. I think from your specific use case, I think I don't know how you guys identify tenants, whether it's an ID or a name, but attaching that as a custom property would add it to these properties here. You would be able to add basically an additional one.
Yeah, it's a technical name. So yeah. Technical name, like a name as an ID. It's not a technical, yeah. So foo barbaz, boom. Not a GUID. So okay, so it's a feature, it's a module pertinent though to install, to set up.
Yes, if you want to have a different application insights account per tenant, but if you don't want, if you just want to have one application insights account here and have everything for every tenant in one place, then you just need to configure it once.
On which tenant? On the default one?
On the default tenant, yeah.
Okay, because you use a knowing middleware, everyone goes through this knowing middleware?
Yeah. Well, sorry, you need to enable the module on every tenant, but you don't need to configure it.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you need to enable the module on every tenant. Okay, and you configure it once. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, good. So I checked. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Zoltán. I checked the bugs list, and we have 2 bugs left in 1.x. Quickly because we are over time and no more battery. I assume you can see. No, you can't see my screen. You can't see my screen. You should be able to see my screen. So these are in 1.x. Orchard opens the DB connection even when all required, blah, blah, blah. This is some code that has to be changed in an Hibernate and maybe also in syscache, so we won't be able to do anything at this point. So we can postpone it. And ability to load extensions from different folder. I'm not sure how it got triaged as high. This is good to have, but it's not definitely not chip broker because we don't have it today. And
I agree. I don't know why we have this here. Okay, I mean, for Orchard 1.x.
So I will.
Well, I think, isn't impact normally saying how much will change? Isn't that what it means?
You should filter by issues. This is a feature.
Yeah.
Feature. Yeah. Still, it's now not displaying anymore. So I think we are ready, even for 1.8x. So again, clap, Sike, George, and everyone from One Step, and Bertrand also, without Sike or from One Step. I need to include everyone. And everyone who submitted fixes and pull requests and everything. So now I will create a branch, integration branch for one. So first merge 1.8x into 1.x, create 2 integration branches, one for 1.8x and one for 1.x, which will freeze the work that we are doing. So now everything you do still on 1.8x or 1.x won't be taken into account for the next next deployment. I don't know how to say that. And this way we can check that nothing is broken on these branches and schedule the release. Okay.
When are you going to do that branch?
Last on Thursday. My computer will stop. No more battery.
Okay.
So see you on Thursday. If anyone wants to create branches from merge 1.8x to 1.8x, that's fine. I trust you guys. If you have right access, that's fine. If you can do it before Thursday, if you want to do it before Thursday. But no new feature in 1.8x or in 1.x, or actually in those integration branches. No new feature, just triaged bug fixes after approval. Okay?
Yeah, and before we release, I would suggest that at least we run through the through the untriaged issues, because we have a lot in the backlog still, because there might be new ones for 1.x.
Okay. So thanks everyone. Thanks for and
Is it just me or did we lose Sap?
I think we lost the rest.
I think it's over.
Good timing. Thank you guys. See you on Thursday. If not, next week.
All right, you guys. See you later.
Cheers,
Bye, everyone.